Hey everyone, it's Joe Glines here. I got the infamous Geek Dude, the author of the Chrome.HK class on the forum that is, I think it's very, very popular. I know for my site, people keep trying to use it all the time. And I asked him if he could give me a little, like an introduction to it because, one, I haven't played with it in a while, and apparently he hasn't either, which is funny. But that it's changed a little bit since I've used it, and it's just great to have some documentation by someone who really knows what they're doing. So welcome, Geek Dude. And you've been on our other webinars and stuff too. Thank you for all you've done.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always great to join with you. You always have good commentary to add to what I'm doing to really bring things down to a more usable level.
Right? Yeah, for us mortals. Yeah.
Today we're looking at my Chrome.AHK library. This project was designed as a way to communicate with Chrome without having to get into projects like Selenium that you've, well, maybe you haven't, but in many of Joe's older videos. So
a lot of views, and I just keep telling people don't use. Well, I don't use Selenium. I haven't touched it in years, and I would use this Chrome class. Which is why I wanted to have this video to help people. I would point them, and I'm like, but I don't have any documentation on it either. So, just go use it and figure it out.
Yeah, the biggest advantage of Chrome.AHK is that you don't have to install anything extra. Just AutoHotkey in Chrome is all you need. Whereas with Selenium, I've seen it can be really complicated to
really
get that.
Can be, yeah.
But a disadvantage is there's not a lot. There's not a lot out on the web about Chrome.AHK. I haven't used it in a long time, just because I've been working on other projects. So I haven't been putting out documentation. And then on the forum, most of the time it's people more asking questions about it rather than posting what they've found about it. So that's really why I'm here today. Try to talk a bit about it, get people started who otherwise would have some trouble. Chrome.AHK talks to Chrome using their developer tools protocol. And what I mean when I say that is, let's pull up a site here. Let's just go to Google. When you open up their page inspector, this speaks the developer tools protocol with Chrome. So anything you could do from this page inspector, debugger, whatever, maybe you want to run some JavaScript that does something on the page, that's all available through Chrome.AHK. But because AutoHotkey is external to Chrome, you have to start Chrome with a special command line flag. And if you haven't used the command line much before, that's fine. The easiest way to put this flag, as they call it, into Chrome is to go down to where you have it pinned on your taskbar, or maybe you have a desktop icon, and you want to go to the shortcut properties.
We can't see that, by the way, because of your head, but people understand. Find the shortcut, go to properties. Oh!
Shortcut properties here.
Thanks.
And then in this box labeled target, you can just take that, copy it, and paste it there. Go ahead and hit apply. And what this does is every time you open Chrome, it will allow people to, or in this case yourself, to open up this DevTools window, but instead of by using like a key shortcut in Chrome, it uses a network connection to your Chrome window. We're just going to be using it here locally today.
But theoretically, I think I'm following this, and the implications is, if I was doing this at work, hey, I might not, this might be different if I got 100 people on my network and they might be able to actually access my browser. Is that right?
Um, I think it's possible. I haven't looked too much at how that works with firewalls or other people on the network.
Okay.
But keep in mind, when you're doing this remote debugging, it's designed to let people on the same network as you connect.
Right.
I don't think that's the default behavior. I think the default behavior is local only, but I haven't tested that. So just a thought there.
Local would still be on that network, right?
When I say local, I mean on the same computer.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I didn't realize that. I thought
local as in localhost,
okay.
if you were familiar with that address. So once you have this flag on there, you'll want to close out of any Chrome windows you have open to kind of let it reset. And then when you open it, that will have Chrome listening for these debugger connections.
It'll have Chrome listening. I'm just trying to get that in my head, because in my head, Chrome is the thing in front of me, but another thread of Chrome or something is going to be watching that port.
Right. It's listening in the background.
Okay.
And AutoHotkey is going to speak to it.
Cool.
So Chrome.AHK is all about, having AHK know how to speak that language. Now that we have our Chrome window primed for connection, we can go ahead and start a new AutoHotkey script. And open that up in whatever editor you prefer. I use my own code quick tester editor, but really it doesn't matter so much. Notepad would work just as well. And we're going to include that Chrome library. That's not right. Just take the path for your Chrome library there and include it into your script. And you should be good to go. So the Chrome library, there are many different ways to start it, but today we're going to be using it to connect to an existing Chrome window instead of launching our own Chrome window. And the first step for that would be to make a variable. I'm going to call this one page. And that will be
one level on your code quick tester.
What's that?
Can you zoom in a little bit on the so the font's
yes.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you much. I know I'm happier, but I'm sure when people are watching this.
Yeah. It always, especially over video, it's hard to see small text, and that's something that always slips my mind.
It's funny because then it really, even though you're trying to learn, now you're struggling to watch it, and it does impede you a bit. So it does help. Thank you.
So when you're connecting to Chrome, it separates tabs as well as some other pages, like background pages that extensions might have. It separates those into units that it calls pages. So if you want to connect to this tab or this tab or this tab, each one of them is a different logical page. So the function you'll want to call to gain access to one of those is getPage, and that will just grab the first page that's available.
Can we pause for 1 second just so I can understand something here too? Because I see, lines 1 and 2, I know those are basic stuff. Line 4, you're including your Chrome class, right? Yet on line 6, you know, nowhere up above did you say Chrome : equals something. So the Chrome, that's a hard set value in your Chrome class? The word Chrome on line 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Much in the way that when you define a function, it becomes available anywhere in the script.
Uh-huh.
When you include a library that defines a class like Chrome, that becomes available anywhere in the script.
Thank you. All right,
So,
now I get it. It's not, this is still, it's really a function call. That's the path.
yes.
Okay, my bad. This is where I don't know classes that well. All right.
In programmer lingo, this is called a static function or static method. And what it is it's a method or a function that's part of a class, but you don't have to do anything with the class to access it. You can just call it.
Okay.
And because we're connecting to an existing Chrome window, and we don't have to do anything to the Chrome class, it's already primed to connect to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just glad. I was thinking that in my head that was Chrome was an object that you had built in Chrome class, and then .getPage was acting on it. But I understand now that's not what you're doing. What's happened?
Right. It's a static method. It just invokes the default behavior of the Chrome class, which is connect on that default port that Google recommends. So once we get our page object, let's check here that it is actually an object and we haven't messed something up along the way. I run that. If it wasn't an object, it would say 0, but because it is an object, it says 1 here. And that means that it's successfully connected to some page. It's probably this page, but we'll see what happens as we get into it and look at a couple other ways to grab pages to make sure you get the right one.
Cool.
Going back to my Chrome library on GitHub, I have a lot of example code, and we're going to borrow from that just a little bit. Just because it's been a while since I've looked at this and need a refresher myself.
Yep. Yeah, half of my videos I make so I can remind myself how to do stuff, not for other people. I'm like, I just can't remember all this stuff.
Right, so I'm going to grab this line here. And apologies if the numbers on the left get a little messed up now and then. It's a bug I've been meaning to work out. We'll want to make sure we start with our variable name that we defined. Here I called it page. And then we call .evaluate on that variable. And what this does is it looks at the page object in our variable, and it runs the evaluate function that's part of that object. Sometimes you'll hear these called functions. Sometimes you'll hear them called methods. A method is just a function that acts on an object or on a class. So I'll be using those terms maybe more interchangeably than some people might prefer. So just keep that in mind. And so what this evaluate function does is, just like we did earlier where we opened up the console and dropped some JavaScript in, it takes that JavaScript and runs it, just like you hit enter in this console. So let's drop that JavaScript in there and then rerun our script. And we get a pop-up that says hi, but you'll see here, it popped up on the wrong page. We wanted this page, not this page. So if we go look back at Chrome.AHK. I believe I didn't document this. I need to go back and write some more documentation. As part of Chrome, the Chrome class that I wrote in Chrome.AHK, there's that getPage function, but there's also getPage by title, getPage by URL, and also getPage by something else. We're not going to be talking about those other options here because they're less useful for everyday automation. But if a title or a URL doesn't get you quite there, feel free to reach out to me through Discord or email on my website. Sometimes I check the AutoHotkey forums, but I haven't done that quite as much recently.
What is your website URL?
I have two URLs, one geekdude.io, but that redirects to my main site, philipt.net.
Cool, okay, thanks.
And there's the link to email right here. Looks just like me. Let's see, so we're going to tweak our example here. Instead of getPage, we want to getPage by title. We'll call that new tab. And when we run that, we get our pop-up,
right,
an object,
yeah,
now the alert shows up on the right page. And if I open that developer tools window again,
it won't matter. Yeah,
it still comes up on the right page.
right.
Now, if you have two tabs, each that say new tab, it might pick the right one, but it might not. I haven't quite figured out how Chrome orders these, but I think it gets them in the order they were created. So it does, well, maybe it gets the first in the tab order now. Everything is always in flux.
Yeah.
But if it grabs the wrong one and you can't, like if you have two tabs that are same URL, same title, I believe there's another parameter here where you can specify which one. No, that doesn't seem quite right.
Are they zero indexed or one?
They're one indexed, but that's not the right parameter. It's title, then match mode. Starts with, and then the number. There we go. So we want to get the tab that starts the title new tab, and we want the second one that matches that criteria. You see, this time we didn't get an alert pop-up.
Because it was on that one, interesting.
Because it's on the second page.
Yeah, cool.
Or maybe we want to get it by URL.
And
Chrome doesn't always show you the full URL anymore. You have to click on the address bar a couple times to get it to pop out the rest of it. So that's an important thing to note.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but part of this process is, you know, at the beginning you find the one you want, but you're going to store a pointer to that page, and then you don't have to worry about the order of it, right? So yeah.
Yes, the order only matters when you first connect to the page.
Yeah.
So if you connect to the page when your script starts, you're good to go for the rest of the time. But if you restart your script and maybe the page you wanted to connect to has a different title or a different URL now, right, you might run into a little bit of trouble there. Yeah. So now I'm getting the page by URL. I've passed in the full URL here using the starts with matching option. I believe contains is an option here. if I just wanted to grab any page where the URL contains Google, that still pops up. And that includes the part after the slash. So if I went to, say, Reddit/r/Google, this has Google in the URL, but it's not Google. But because it matches anywhere in the URL,
yeah, I get you. Right.
it'll still pick up on that.
Yeah.
And so there are a couple different match options. There's contains and starts with, which we've demoed. There's exact, which may not be as helpful.
Is that case sensitive? I would think so.
No, I've commented here, case insensitive.
Wow. Yeah,
I was thinking ahead on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, what exact? That doesn't quite. Anyway, exact, I guess, just wouldn't quite work. So,
anyways, the idea is that some sites will have the title start with the site name, and then you get the page title, or they'll start with the page title, and then you get the site name. The point of offering all these different options is to help you adapt your code to those different page titling schemes.
Right.
Let's see here. So we've got our alert popping up on our page. I'm going to change that back to title, just so I can grab this new tab page here. So let's change this to only alert us when it's not an object. That way we know when things are going wrong, but we aren't bothered when things are going right. So if not is object, then I want to pop up go ahead and make the script close out in that situation. So now we get the pop-up immediately, but if we were to fat finger the tab title there, then we get a pop-up. So we've got our new tab, but you can only do so much from a new tab page. What you really want to do is take your page somewhere that you can do something.